Welcome to Mark's Ghosty Corner, and I'm back in Stratford-upon-Avon, so that can only mean one thing. There's only one place I'm interested more than anywhere else in Stratford, and we all know where that is, and of course that's Tudor World. So I finally made it. I thought it'd take me about 45 minutes, 50 minutes, but it took me over an hour because of traffic. Absolute nightmare today, but it's in the week as well. It's a Thursday. Sorry, noisy vehicle going down there, but I thought we'd be all right, but no, it's a nice day today. Tourists are about, traffic's manic, but I'm here anyway. So I'm just going to let Hannah know, and then she'll let me in. I can come and explore the place. So cool, it's good to be back. A bit noisier than I remember. Look, what are these people about? I don't know. Oh, I'm finally in, I'm finally here. So Hannah very kindly let me in. There she is, say hello.
Hi.
Oh, she's out of breath because she's had to run all the way here, so
I'm very unfit.
well, thank you for letting me in, I appreciate it. So I'll leave her to set up what she needs to do, and I'll just show you the outside of the building again. We've got loads of bunting up because of course we've got the coronation coming up soon. Got some nice music playing as well, look at that. As you can always tell, I'm always enthusiastic about this building, absolutely adore the place. And it's great to be here in the daytime, actually looking around as well. And like I said, it's a beautiful day, sun's out. So you can get to appreciate the beauty of the building from the outside. So I'm very lucky they've managed to let me in earlier. Now they don't open till about 10:30, and it's about 9:45 now. So I've got about 45 minutes before it's open to the general public. So I'm actually really lucky that John and Janet and Hannah, of course, have let me in to come and do a walk around for at least 45 minutes without anybody else coming in, which is really nice. So I'm obviously very appreciative of that. I love the cobbled street here, look at that. Isn't it gorgeous? But then, like I said, this building is anyway, when you consider how old it actually is, you know, 400 years old at least. Look at that, that's cool, isn't it? And I know I'm always gushing about this place, but I just can't help it. Not only is it the most haunted building in Stratford-upon-Avon, it is the most interesting as well. I absolutely adore it. Even when you look at the, you know, like I said, as always, you're looking at the brickwork, you can see how old it is, and of course, you know, you see the textures in the wood itself, and the age of the place. Absolutely gorgeous, love it. So I'm just going to show you. I didn't have a chance to do this last time I came in the daytime, but John's very kindly just said I could come down here and have a quick look at the open theatre they've actually got. So I thought I'd just show you this in the daytime. So yeah, they've got this. It's like they've got this small stage area here. Like when every year they do like a séance at Halloween, and this is kind of where you start as well. You know, so you get all the guests come here and they sit down, and then they eventually get led through to the building itself by kind of like by candlelight, and led up into the attic for a séance to take place. So. But they do all kinds of things here. Like I said, it is an open theatre. So, and that doorway there, that leads into the base room. So if you're doing like a paranormal investigation, a paranormal night, it's actually that room you start in. So if you're having tea, coffee and all that kind of thing. So that's the base room just beyond there. And then of course, back out into the cobble street. And actually look at that. That's gorgeous, look at that. So yeah, in a moment I'm going to get inside and start to have a walk around. I'm going to walk through the gift shop area, and then head straight upstairs to where the main exhibitions are. So we'll do that in a moment. So yeah, this is the shop area. Now, if you've watched my previous videos on Tudor World, you'll know this anyway, because you would have seen it. But I remember years ago when I used to bring my son here. He's 16 now, so you know, he's a typical teenager. But I used to bring my son here, and we used to I used to buy him like the archery sets and like the shields and the sword and that kind of thing. And you know, he'd pretend he's like some kind of medieval kind of like warrior. And he loved it. So, you know, you got to remember, not only is this the most haunted building in Stratford, it's also a fascinating museum, absolutely beautiful, beautiful museum. The building's gorgeous, but also they've got a great gift shop. So if you're interested in history of Stratford, or if you've got children and you just want to buy, you know, a sword and shield or a bow, this is definitely the place to come to do that. So, but you got loads of stuff here. Look, they've got loads of literature on like Guy Fawkes and everything else. So it's a great, interesting building with lots of displays, and of course the shop's pretty cool as well. So, and if you fancy a cold drink, they've even got that. Look at that. They've got everything. They thought of everything. So I'm going to start on the ground floor, work my way up to the upper floor, and then once I've actually done that, creepy displays, still creepy and still displaying. I'm not really quite sure to go with that. Right, anyway, so museum this way. As I've said on previous videos, if you're walking around here in the dark on a ghost night and you come across these curtains that are overhanging and you suddenly walk into them, they can give you like a bit of a shock, to say the least. You're not thinking like this ghostly hands kind of brushed across your face, which in this place might actually be the case. You never know. But also it could be just literally one of these. So you have to watch that. When it's pitch black and you're wandering around and you suddenly walk into that, it's a bit of a shock to the system. Let's just say that. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? I love that. I mean, unlike a lot of places, you know, the furniture and that here is authentic. So it's pretty gorgeous. And it's nice to be able to come in and actually have a walk around, not dodging in and out of other visitors. Now, I've had some toast this morning, but when I see stuff like this, even though it's obviously not real, it does kind of, oh, especially that, look at that. It does make me somewhat hungry. Maybe not that chicken though, but the pies and everything else, they look awesome. Again, it's simple things. When you're walking around a place like this, you know, you can end up missing some of the displays, some of the things that you see, like even this chair. I mean, look at the carving in that. It's absolutely gorgeous. And as I've said on previous videos, is that when you're walking around, you're not only just looking at the displays, but of course, because this is, you know, Stratford's most haunted building, you're actually looking at the building as well. My advice is that if you get an opportunity to, you know, come around a place like this, come into, you know, a location like this, is that just if you can, if you're allowed to, just, you know, touch some of the history of this place. You know, put your hand on it, see what you can feel. You know, if you're looking at psychometry and that kind of thing, it's a simple thing like putting your hand, you know, on some of the beams or, you know, some of the brickwork, and just see if you can feel the history of the location. And that for me is fascinating. I'm a real big fan of psychometry, and I love, you know, holding objects and, you know, touching things. That's why on a lot of my videos I do put my hand like on the brickwork when I'm walking around churches, and, you know, like on headstones and that kind of thing, because I'm a real firm believer that you can feel the energy of that object, you can feel the history of that location, which is, of course, is what makes it unbelievably fascinating. Always watch the ramps. I'll tell you what, when you're walking around and it's dark, and again, you know, you've got the curtains, as I've already said, and you forget about the ramps, and then you're walking along and it's pitch black, and then all of a sudden you kind of fall forward. So yeah, make sure you watch the ramps. I've ended up tripping down there myself. They've got like lots of kind of interactive displays here as well, which you can lift up and you can, you know, look at, which I really like. And this mirror, I talked about this before actually. When we did our investigation here last time with Sheldon's team, I was hoping to do a bit of kind of scrying on the mirror, but it just never happened in the end. And unfortunately the night vision camera I was using at the time was my old camcorder, which wasn't like really good quality. Whereas now, of course, I've got much better cameras. So, if, you know, next time I come here to do an investigation at night time again, if I'm lucky enough to do that, I will actually be able to do things like scrying. That's my hand, by the way, an arm. That's not an apparition, even though it kind of looks like one. Hopefully, you know, I might be able to do some scrying and actually do some of the experiments I actually wanted to do, but didn't really have the opportunity at the time. And of course, you know, I didn't have the equipment, the cameras and that, which would have really helped. Oh, they're still headless. The last time I came, the heads had been taken off these because apparently it was scaring some of the visitors, so they took them off. I remember saying on my last video, the irony is that, you know, Henry VIII literally has lost his head, so there's a bit of irony there. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? So let's work our way upstairs. So as the sign says, this way to the ship room. Now I'm not going to show too much of the plaques that you can read and everything else. I'm not going to show you all the displays because I actually want you to come and visit this location. I actually want you to come to Stratford. It's an absolutely gorgeous town, absolutely gorgeous town, you know, rife in history. Has some of the best coffee and cake shops as well. So if you like your tea rooms, you can't go far wrong in Stratford-upon-Avon. But also on top of that, some really historic and really old buildings. You know, this is Shakespeare's place. You know, his birthplace and everything else. So Stratford-upon-Avon is an amazing location, brilliant place to come and visit. Absolutely, you know, you spend all day here and actually you're finding new things to explore, new things to actually see. And of course, come and visit Tudor World at the same time. Put that on your list, make that a must to do. So I'm not going to show you everything because I don't want to do that. I want you to come here and I want you to check this place out for yourself. But yeah, I love the displays. So I'm hoping that I can actually get up into the attic. So John and Janet and Hannah, of course, have very kindly said I should be able to go up there and spend a little bit of time in the attic. So I have got my night vision camera if I need it. But you know, I'm hoping I can spend like, you know, 20 minutes up there and just listen to the building and maybe do a little bit of EVP recording, that kind of thing. So I thought I saw an apparition, but it's Hannah. Actually, while I've got you, why do you love this building?
The history. I mean, it's a beautiful building just looking at it, but what it's contained over the centuries, all the stories it could tell, and obviously the paranormal activity that's happened is pretty cool as well.
Actually, while I've got you, am I right to ask you some questions?
Yeah, sure.
What drew you to come and work here?
I've always loved history, but I found it really hard to get my foot in the door, apart from volunteering at museums. And it was just by chance I came here. I saw a vacancy, so I went for it, relying on my customer service skills.
Which are very good, by the way.
Thank you. And then I've slowly worked my way up, being a ghost tour guide, doing tours of the school, even helping with plan events as well. But yeah, I've been able to do so much in just this one building and for so many years as well.
What's your favourite part of the job?
Oh, gotta be the ghost tours.
Is that your favourite bit?
Yeah.
What's your least favourite bit? You can be honest, John won't see it. Yeah, you're gonna watch my video.
I have a list. No, I don't know, because sometimes things can get a bit exhausting, so, you know, so I have like a ghost tour every single day. It can get a little bit samey, but then at the times,
tiring, I
yeah,
suppose.
at the time it's really fun. When it's really quiet here as well, I'm just left to my own devices, left to my own thoughts.
So what's the best activity you've experienced in the building?
Technically this isn't in the building, but I was supposedly followed home by a spirit.
What, from here?
Mm-hmm.
Did you see that, or...?
I didn't, but we had some weird activity going on in our house.
Oh, right.
That only lasted a small while.
Oh, okay.
My dad is actually a medium.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And he actually was able to see this entity and describe them to me, and I thought, that sounds awfully familiar.
So would that, you would have come back to work and they would have come back to the building? So
did,
it's almost like it was just kind of seeing where you lived, and it was just,
pretty much. He just wanted to,
you know, come in,
himself in.
bit of a change of scenery for the spirit. They must get a bit bored walking around the same building all the time. So
I thought so, yeah. I think though, in this actual building, probably seeing Lucy, or I probably shouldn't say
no,
too
no,
much.
no,
Oh, okay.
no, it's fine, it's fine. So, I mean, what did you actually see? What was your experience?
This was after closing, so the building was empty apart from a few staff. I was sat actually here on this bench.
Oh, right, so you was actually in this bit.
Yeah,
right.
the lights were on. I just happened to look underneath this school desk, and I just saw this little figure just crouched underneath, just blonde hair covering
of
the
a
face,
child.
Sort of a greyish dress. I literally jumped up, screamed. I looked again, and there was nothing there.
And did it look like, you know, was it like a full-bodied, like,
yeah, it was
clear?
full-bodied, yeah.
So it wasn't transparent or anything. It was like literally.
I actually thought there was a child there.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
I think that's what freaked me out the most.
Yeah.
I was like, we're closed. Who's this child? And yeah, she's gone.
And then she was gone. That is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great. See, and that's what makes it worthwhile, isn't it?
Oh,
things
absolutely.
like that.
I think it's just when you don't expect the activity to happen. As I experienced loads of stuff in the daytime when the museum's closed as well, so before and after. And it's always unexpected, and it's always amazing. Yes, it freaks me out a bit. My incidences in the attic always really stop me from going in there.
Yeah, the attic being the most haunted part, really. Yeah, I know. But well, that's good. That's great. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. So, my last question: why should people come and visit Tudor World?
I hate to be that person, but we are an unfunded museum. This is actually a grade 2-star building, but we don't get any money, grants, charities, nothing. So every penny counts.
It goes into the building to keep it going. Yeah. And I know it sounds cliche, but it's keeping the history alive, isn't it? It's actually, you know, saving this building from, you know, falling into ruin. And like in most towns and cities, these old buildings, they end up getting flattened, fall apart, get flattened, and then they build flats on them. So, you know, it's a great museum, a very haunted museum. And it's one that needs support.
Yes,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah, as Hannah said, come and visit your local museum, and definitely come and visit Tudor World. So I'm going to leave her to set up, because she's actually got to get on with setting everything up for the visitors when they're going to be turned up. And she's got a group of school children coming soon, so I'm going to leave her in peace. That's one of my least favourite things then. No, she didn't say that. She didn't say that. You didn't hear that. You didn't hear that. Right, so I'm going to leave her in peace now and carry on. Thank you.
That's okay. Just let me know when you need to go in the attic.
Yeah, we'll do. Thank you. I mean, as Hannah said, you know, museums, these old buildings, they're so important. Oh, creaky floorboards. As I've always said, if you're ever doing a ghost night, always be aware of the creaky floorboards. But for me, it's really important, you know, supporting museums and visiting places like this, because at the end of the day, history looking back helps us to look forward. You look at the mistakes of the past, which hopefully means that you don't make mistakes of the future. And it's really important to see how people used to live. You know, we don't want to lose that history. We don't want to lose a part of us and what makes us, you know, British, you know, makes us, you know, how can I actually put it? You know, the amount of history that's in this country, it's so important not to lose that and not to forget it and take it for granted. So please don't take your museums for granted, because they need the support. They need that financial support. And hell, it's a great place to come and bring the family and teach your children the importance of history. So please, I keep banging on about this, but please do come and visit your museums local to you. And if you're in Stratford, come and check this place out. It is awesome. As Hannah said, it's very haunted. And what I love about the paranormal, and I love about this building as well, is you never ever know what's going to happen next. You can walk around, you can do an investigation, and you don't experience anything. And I think that's what makes it genuine here, is that, you know, when these things happen, they can just happen out of the blue. They just actually come out of nowhere. Like she said, she saw that young child who was actually under that table. And that's what I love about this place, is that you'll be walking around or you'll do an investigation and you think you haven't experienced anything, and all of a sudden, out of the blue, you actually see something, you actually experience something. And I think that's what I love about this building. There's so much here. There's so much activity. There are so many energies within this location that they just want to come out and speak to you, and they want to make their presence known to you. And they're friendly. You know, I'm not saying that all of them are friendly. You know, when you go into the attic, there are some experiences which are more negative, but the actual museum itself, this part of the location where the tourists and the visitors will go around, is a very positive building. You know, you've got very positive energies, and it really shows that those energies want to communicate and want to step forward and make their presence known. And let's face it, you come and check a place out like this, you walk around a museum like this, you might have a paranormal experience. You might be videoing, you might be taking photographs, and you don't even realise it until you actually look at the footage afterwards. And isn't that pretty cool? Isn't that pretty exciting? That actually you might have an experience and not realise it at that time. So, you know, if you video, if you're walking around, you know, you're with your family, friends, whatever, make sure you listen to that audio, because you never know, you might have captured some kind of spectral voice or something to show you that you've had an experience within this very haunted museum. And for me, that's pretty cool. But outside of that, you've got all these gorgeous displays. They've always got this food. They've got food everywhere. Look. Got food everywhere. I'm getting so hungry looking at this lot. Maybe not looking at that chicken, mind you, but looking at the all the fruit and everything else. Those that know me, I love my apples. I'm a big fan of apples and chocolate, of course. You know, let's be realistic, but yeah, that's me. Look, vagabond. Yeah, I'm sure if I was alive in that period, I probably would have had my head in the stocks as well. So, well, actually, I definitely would have. Regarding the mediumship side, I definitely would have actually had my head in the stocks, because, of course, you know, they would have seen me as a witch. So they would have either tried to drown me or actually burn me at the stake, one or the other. So I'm kind of glad that we don't live in those times. I say you look back in history and how important it is, but I don't think I'd want to go back in time and actually see that for myself. I'm quite happy to walk around a museum, I think, than worry about being burnt at the stake. So I love the displays here. I love the figures. They're absolutely cool. Look at that. Amazing. But like I said, I'm not going to show you everything, because I want you to come and check this place out yourself. I want you to actually visit this location. Again, you've got these, walking into these at night time. And also, if you're tall, watch your head. I'm not, I'm short. I can walk under tables, you know. I'm really short, so I'm alright. I don't have to worry about that. The doctor is in the house. So yeah, it's absolutely great to be here again, visit the location. So I'm not going to spend a massive amount of time walking around videoing in this area, because I've obviously done that on previous videos. And again, as I keep saying, I don't want to show you everything. But it's always, for me, it's always a treat to come back to this location, to come and actually visit this building. I never, ever, ever get bored of revisiting this location over and over again. You know, the amount of times over the years I've come back here so many times, and I never, ever get bored of it. I love coming back, and they do change the displays and they move things around, and there's always something new to see. That's one thing I'm always been fascinated about, is every time I come back to this location, I see something I've never seen before. It's like they've got so much here, is that one visit is never enough. You've always got to come back and recheck it out again. So there's creaky floorboards. You've always got to come back and check it out again, because there's always going to be something new that you've never seen. And I love that. I love that. I love the history. And again, that psychometry. You know, if there's an object that you're allowed to touch, I mean, obviously the displays you're not allowed to touch, but, you know, when it comes to the brickwork, and, you know, you can feel that history of the location. See how it makes you feel. Look at that. So yeah, as always, I'm gushing about the place. I adore the building. Fantastic museum. And I'm going to keep coming back year in, year out. I'm going to keep coming back. I'm going to keep checking this place out. And I'm hoping at some point I can come back and do a paranormal investigation again. So if I'm lucky enough. And now I've got more equipment. Every single time I come back here, I've got more cameras. I can actually lock spaces off. I've got more general equipment, which means that I can do a more thorough investigation. And of course, these days I'm learning more about being quiet. Obviously not in this video, because I haven't actually stopped talking yet, but being quiet and listening to the building, see if you can capture those EVPs. So yeah, that's my pretty quick walk around of the ground floor and also the first floor. So we're now heading back into the shop area, and then I'm going to see if I can get up into the attic. So Hannah's just opened this door for me. She said she's going to lock me in. Hopefully she's going to let me out again.
It's an extra charge.
Oh, for God's sake. Did you not realise I'm poor? Anyway, right, so I'm going to go up into, there you go, she's locked me now. That's it, now I'm stuck. See, look, that's not a spectral hand, but that's somebody who's enjoying locking me actually in here. So, all right. Thank you. Shall I message you to let you know when I'm done? Yeah, all right. So this is the attic. Now, last time I came, I didn't realise, well, I knew there was lights, but I didn't know where they were. So oh God, she's still here, look. So I was wandering around in the dark, because I had absolutely no idea where the light switch was. But now we've got light. I've actually brought my night vision cameras because I wasn't really sure, but I'm not going to need them, which is great. So we have to watch where you're walking. Got these mannequins everywhere. These are all the displays I don't really use anymore. So, and that creepy, that one's really creepy. That is. Yeah, I don't like that one. That one's creepy. So yeah, this is where they do all their seances. Obviously, there's a seance table. Got all the chairs around it. As I've said before, you get this kind of these metal supports, which is for, I guess, to support and help with the beams. So you have to watch you don't trip over these things, especially when you're doing an investigation. I think I'm gonna take my bag off for a minute, I think. So I thought it would just be pretty cool to actually come up here and just spend, see, look. That's creepy, 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 still creepy. So I'd just come up here and spend a little bit of time actually up in the attic. Not long, just about 10 minutes or so. I just thought it'd be quite interesting to come. So let me pull up a chair. I'll sit here for a minute. Actually, let me go and get my K2. Right, so I've just got my K2, which I've got here. So I thought it'd just be interesting to have that. So I might just pop that on the table as a more visual thing. Now it's sitting on one light at the moment, and I just thought I'd come up here and just spend a few minutes up in the attic space. So I had to have a quick toilet break, old age unfortunately, but I'm back up in the attic again, and I've just moved the K2, just kind of stood it up just to see, out of curiosity, if it gets knocked over, if the lights suddenly change on it, anything like that. I mean, my foot is near, actually let me move it a little bit, there you go. Actually, I'll put my foot there. There you go. Right. So I'm not going to stamp on the floor and make it fall over or anything like that. I'm just going to sit here, just looking around. Just see if anybody in spirit wants to step forward and wants to speak to me. As I've said before, I adore this building. Absolutely fantastic location. Can be very active. Really quirky, interesting place. And I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that this place is haunted. So for me, there's no question on that. So I'm going to ask, I'm going to say, is there anybody that's here in spirit that can hear my voice? Is there anybody that wants to step forward and make their presence known to me? Could you make some kind of noise for me or move something? See, there's a box that I've put on the middle of the table here. If you want, you could maybe try and touch the box, push it over, go near it. It's got like a little green light on it. I don't know if you can see that, but if you can, if you get closer to it, the lights will change. I'm sure you would have seen these before anyway. But if there is anybody in spirit that's actually here that can hear my voice, could you maybe try to go near the green box in the center of the table, or maybe even try to push the box over? or if there's anything you want to say to me. I might not hear you myself, but I might be able to capture your voice on the camera I'm holding in my hand. If you know what a camera is, it's a device that kind of records you. So if there's anything you want to say, please say it. Look at the beams. I love the beams. You know, I talk about history and kind of, you know, the psychometry side of things, and like, you know, kind of touching, you know, the beams, the wood, feeling the history of the place. And I've had so many interesting experiences here in the attic of Tudor World. I've investigated this building many times over the years, many times, and some of the experiences we've actually had here in the attic have been insane. From kind of taps on the table, really good taps on the table as well, even to the point where actually there was a tap on Sherilyn's camera on the lens. Something tapped the lens, she heard it and felt it. To chairs being moved, being pulled back, so we've had guests kind of sitting on chairs and then all of a sudden the chairs being pulled back. Tables moved. I mean, this is a big table, it's a big table, but the table's actually kind of lifted and moved and we've all felt it. To figures kind of moving in the back, to knocks, to burning smells. You know, when we've done seances in this place, it's been absolutely incredible. It's been nuts. Not all the time, because then that, you know, people who allege it's, you know, these things are all the time and these things happen on command, they're making it up. But, you know, if spirit wants to do something, if they want to make their presence known, they'll do something. And I think that's what's the most interesting thing about being an investigator, is at the end of the day is you are investigating a location, and if you're lucky, somebody in spirit will pay attention to you and step forward, and they'll want to make their presence known. They'll want to do something. It's like Hannah was talking about that young girl that was under the table that she actually saw. You know, it was kind of like a quick glance and she saw there was a young girl under there and then got frightened and then, you know, kind of like turned away or moved away and then looked back, you know, seconds, and then she was gone. Things like that I find unbelievably fascinating. And this place is like that. It's like there are times where literally nothing will happen. You'll experience nothing, and then all of a sudden something will move, or there'll be a knock, or, you know, the equipment gets affected. You know, anything like that is just, you know, we had all our cameras shut off at one point, all at the same time. There was no logical explanation for it. It wasn't a power cut or anything. All the cameras went down, and that's when we had some really cool stuff happen. And again, that was up here. So yeah, I love the building, I love the museum, I love the attic more. And to be able to get up here, even if it's for a short space of time, I'm incredibly grateful for. But also, it's just really nice to be up here again, back in this space. So is there anybody in spirit that can hear my voice? Is there anybody that wants to step forward to let me know they're here, please? My name's Mark, by the way. I don't mean you any harm, and I certainly don't mean you any kind of disrespect. You know, I've got the lights on. You know, I'm friendly. I'm a nice person to approach. You can talk to me. I'm not going to sit here in the dark. You know, I've been to many old buildings, many places where it's been daytime, and I've caught some of my best evidence, some of my best things like voices and stuff. We call them EVPs. So it doesn't have to be pitch black. It doesn't have to be nighttime. It doesn't have to be a scary kind of scenario. So if there is anyone here that can hear me, that's connected to this absolutely beautiful historic building, can you please, you know, step forward? Let me know you're here. Again, could you knock the box over that's on the table? Or could you step towards it? Or can you say something? Come as close as you can to the camera I'm holding in my hand, and can you try and say something? Come and talk to me. I'm a patient man. I believe you exist. I believe you're here. And I also believe that you're strong enough to move a chair, to knock something over, to maybe bang on the table, to maybe pull the material on the table, to actually give this a bit of a tug, you know, over like in there. I know that you are here. I know that you might be able to knock like this. You might be able to move that. Physically, that you might be able to step forward and do something to let me know that you're here and that you can hear me. I would love for you to speak to me, please. I would love for you to just give me a sign to let me know that you're here. Can hear the wind outside, which is pretty cool. I like that. Reminds me of being like at the coast, you know. You can actually hear the waves kind of crashing against the shoreline and all that kind of stuff. So I like it. I like listening to the wind. I like that. When you're on the inside, I don't like it so much when you're on the outside, getting blown all over the place. But I got a cool mirror here. Look, see that? Can you maybe try and show your face in the mirror that I'm pointing my camera at? Could you do that for me? I was just zooming in on the mirror, and the K2 was knocked over. Damn it, I was just zooming in. Oh, can't believe it. Hold on, let's stand that up again. Right, so I've stood it up again. Gave me a bit of a shock actually, because like I said, I was kind of focusing on that mirror over there just to see if maybe, you know, somebody in spirit would step forward to make their presence known. I asked for the K2 to be knocked over, or for it to light up, and it did. Well, it didn't light up, but it did get knocked over, which, you know, okay, you could turn around and say maybe it's gravity, perhaps, you know, I'm not really moving around on the chair much. And it is kind of standing up all right. That was interesting. I'm not saying it's spirit. I'm not one of those channels. I'm not going to claim it was paranormal just because it fell over. It just could have been gravity. It could have been the movement of it. You know, I'm going to ask again. I'm assuming that's downstairs. I hope that's downstairs because that was interesting. That sounded like running. But I'm curious to see if maybe the K2 gets knocked over again. That was interesting. If somebody in spirit did knock over the box that's on the table, could you do it again for me, please? There's a young girl here in spirit, and you can hear my voice, the one that actually showed yourself to Hannah, the lady who works here. If that was you that knocked the box over, could you do it again? It's fine, it's not a problem. Or, as I said before, if there's anybody that wants to show their face in the mirror, which is just there, could you please do that? As I said, I just want to speak to you. I don't mean you any harm. I don't mean you any disrespect. I just want to speak to you. It's interesting, it's gone quiet downstairs now. I'll have to ask about that when I leave down here to see if somebody actually did run on the floor below. Because I know they've got a group of school kids coming in, but I can't hear them. I mean, school kids are not quiet. They don't make a lot of noise, so I'll have to find out whether or not anybody was running below. It's cool being back in this place. I love the building. And I love the attic. And it's just nice even being up here, even if not much is happening. That's fine. It's fine. I'm not going to cry. It's fine. I'm actually just enjoying being up here. I told you I love this building. Love being here. Whether anything paranormal happens or not, absolutely love this building. So why don't we do one more call out. If there is anybody in spirit that can hear my voice, if there is anybody that wants to step forward, and please step forward to make your presence known, could maybe you try to knock that box over on the table or step close to it, try and touch it? Could you maybe try to move some of the material on the table, give it a pull, push a chair, move an object in this room? If that young girl is around, she can hear my voice, can you maybe show yourself to me like you did with Hannah? My stomach's grumbling a bit, so ignore that. Always grumbles on these things. Whenever I do these things, stomach's always deciding that it wants to actually start speaking and making some noises. Very annoying. Well, I'm going to go in a minute anyway, so if there is anybody in spirit that is around, maybe you're not, maybe you're downstairs, you know, perhaps I'm not very interested, I don't know, perhaps you're in another part of the building. I mean, it's not unusual for spirit to be connected to the people who live here, or, you know, in this case, the staff members. Maybe you're with them. You not want to be up here in the attic with me, which can't blame you. I mean, let's be honest. But if there is anybody, you know, like a last call out, if there is anybody that wants to come forward, can you maybe please do something just to let me know you're here? Like I said, you know, knock the box over on the table. You do that, I'll be happy with that. But I'll be happy anyway, regardless. I'm just happy to be here. As you can tell, I'm happy. I can hear a bird that's chirping away. That also sounds quite happy. I think there's visitors coming in now, so I can hear kind of doors opening and closing and stuff, and I can hear voices from below. Not spirit, so I'm probably going to wrap this up, I think, fairly soon, because I don't want to be taking too much time up. You know, Hannah and John and Janet and everybody else have got more important things to do than worry about some kind of ghost hunter wandering around. So I think I'm going to yeah, that mirror's cool, look at that. If there's anybody in spirit that wanted to show themselves, that's definitely definitely the mirror to do it in. Look at that. Cool. Creepy mirror. But I'm going to put that away now. There we go. So I'm going to pack my gear up, and I'll let Hannah know that I'm done here, and then do like a little conclusion. As always, I'll listen to the audio, of course. It's difficult because I talk so much, so I think any spirit trying to get their say in, trying to get the voice in, is probably not that easy, because I never shut up. But, you know, I will analyse footage as always, and you never know, I might have captured some kind of spooky voice on there, or there might be something that moved, or something that I missed. It's not always looking at the camera. I'm looking around the room as well, so. But yeah, fantastic location, brilliant museum. I love the attic. Actually, that sounded like a conclusion, didn't it, really? And I was supposed to be doing a conclusion when I actually go. So I'll do a quick conclusion, which I'll probably end up repeating myself again, as always. But it is just a joy to be back in the building. Right, so on that note, I'm going to say a fond farewell to the attic. Goodbye, beautiful attic. I love you so much. Would have been nice if the table lifted and the chairs all shook and something. Not you, you're creepy. You know, let's just hide you. You creep me out. I don't like that. But outside of that, I'd love to come back here and do a seance again. Cool place for a seance. Right, so now I'm just going to work my way back down. Try not to hurt myself as I'm heading down these steps. And then let Hannah know that I'm done. Hannah's very kindly let me back down. She puts her hand around here, around this corner, and I didn't even know she was there, and it did kind of freak me out a little bit. It's like a spooky kind of apparition appeared to let me back out. I'm glad it's Hannah, but I have to admit, I'm disappointed it's not Spirit. I gotta be honest.
That was helpful.
Well, I appreciate it anyway. While I was up there, I did hear some running down here. Was there anybody on this floor?
Nope.
I actually, it sounded, we've got to be honest, it sounded like
I came up here, but I walked.
Yeah,
no,
I did hear, almost like if it was like a child, for example. I actually heard some running, like
along
coming
here?
up. Yeah, well, yeah, kind of. Well, it was up there, so it sounded like something like a small child running up and then running back down again, and then that was it. And then I heard one of your sound effects, you know, one of your voices come on. But was there anybody up here at the time?
I said I came up here, but I was walking. I wasn't rushing through.
Yeah.
I set off the Dr. John D one.
Yeah, no, I heard the voice thing, but I definitely heard running
because the kids have only just got here as well, and no one else is in the building.
I think I'll listen to the audio.
Oh, that's freaky.
And I'll see if I've caught it. I'm hoping I have, all being well. Problem is, I talk so much. You never know.
Never.
You never know. But if I have heard the running and I've caught it on the audio, I'll let you know.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
Yeah, because I thought I'd ask you. Because I was saying while I was up there that sometimes you dismiss things really easy. When you do investigations, you think, oh, that's just somebody walking around another room. And it might not be. That's why you have to ask. So, great. Thank you. I'll listen to it and I'll let you know.
Yay.
So, that's it. I'm back outside again. So, I've just thanked John for his time, for letting me come and have a look round. As I said, always great to be back in this place. I absolutely love it. They've got a load of visitors have gone in now, and they've got a load of school kids as well. As I said, really popular location. So loved it. Really enjoyed being here. They've put some, like I said, loads of bunting out. They put some stuff out about the coronation, which I saw on the way out. One which includes the soon king to be Charles, his head, which is a bit weird, but anyway, I'm glad I didn't get that on film. But outside of that, love this place, fantastic location, really good to be back, and I'll come back again time and time again, you know, because like I said, I never ever get fed up of coming to this place. I absolutely adore it. And if you're ever in Stratford-upon-Avon, outside of visiting the tea shops and having cake and a latte, please do come and check out Tudor World. It really is a gem in Stratford. Absolutely gorgeous building, great museum, really friendly staff as well. And if you get lucky enough to meet John and Janet too, they'll tell you all the history of the place. And of course, it is Stratford's, or Stratford-upon-Avon's, most haunted location. So come and check it out, and I'll see you soon.